These are e-penises, by the way.
Mine goes out the screen.
Mine was bigger. Mine was like this, and
up.
this is yours.
Let the record show that Brittany is holding up a forearm and a pinky finger.
It gets real small at the end. Real nice girth at the base. Not so much at the tip. Kind of loses something there. Anyway.
Oh, shit. Have we started yet?
Welcome, everybody, to the Zero Lives Video Game Podcast. I don't know what episode we're on. I don't give a shit. I'm going to stop counting. I don't care. We're doing it for you every week. That's the important thing. I want to get this out right away, just so everyone can start expressing their rage. So we just did about 20 minutes of this episode, covered the first, it was about 20 minutes. We covered the first 3 topics on our outline, and then I realized that I had not hit record. So here we are, and we're going to run through this again. The first handful of topics, we may feel like we are breezing through them a little bit. There's a reason for that. That's completely my fault. We stopped to do a sound check because Andrew was concerned that his fan was going to come through on his microphone, and then I never hit record again. And now Brittany is coughing into her microphone.
I muted myself.
Don't be
Are you
pushed to
kidding
blame.
me?
Don't like this is Andrew's fan's fault and Brittany's
me?
coughing's fault. You didn't hit the button. It is
You're
all
right.
Joe's
Damn it,
You're
Troy.
absolutely
Just
right.
used to know.
You're
The rest of
absolutely
us
right.
blame- Son of
My,
a...
I just
my
wanna-
week was good, Troy. Thanks for asking.
Yeah,
Till
so
this
let's
night, right
let's
now,
get back
20
to that.
minutes ago.
How were your weeks, Brittany? Let's start with you. Let me guess. It was full of babies and Overwatch.
It was. You know.
How did
oh
I
my
know
God,
that?
Deja fucking vu.
How did I know that?
I don't know. You're just amazing. You read my mind.
Oh man, everybody's gonna be so fucking salty until we get back to where we were.
Very.
Andrew, how was your week?
It was great until today. Today just fucking ruined the whole thing.
This ruined your whole week.
Yeah, this was it, man. I look forward to this the whole time. I gave it my all for that 20 minutes, and now I'm fucked.
That
was a quality 20
you spent
minutes.
20,
I think you
20
did a really
minutes
good
with your
job.
headset on. As of right now, I'm going on my 8th hour this week of sitting in front of this microphone. So fuck you.
That's your fault.
Hey, I enjoy
Make
doing
excuses.
I
It's
enjoy
not
doing it. I don't
competition.
Yeah,
give
so
two
you
shits.
can't use it as an excuse.
it. All right, Mike, what are you up to this week?
Fantastic. My week's just been great. Sorry. That's all I got for you. It was really good before, but we didn't record it, did we?
Oh, come
No.
on. So we can't talk about any of that
Oh,
at
yeah.
all? We
This
can't
is
talk
not
about-
going to die, sir.
That's fine. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. Blow me all the shit you want, but I think you can talk. You can talk a little bit about what you did this week. It's
A little bit. We'll just do a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been watching shitty video game movies all week. How's that for you? I'll rehash that a little bit. But writing an article for Project Nerd about the top 10 worst video game movies ever made since all these new video game movies are coming out. So been going through some pretty solid gems. Went through Double Dragon. Finished Tekken right before the podcast. Went back and watched King of Fighters again. Watched, what is it? The Max movie with Mark Wahlberg.
The Max movie.
Yeah, not
Oh,
Max.
holy shit! They did make that into a movie. Fucking Max Payne.
Max Payne.
Holy
Oh,
shit! I've never
How
seen that.
forgettable it was, 'cause the games I didn't think were that great. Actually, the first one won a lot of awards. I just never played it. The second and third one, nobody gave a shit. But went back and watched that, and they tried to convince you that Mila Kunis is like a hard-ass like Russian gang leader, and it's like, whatever, Jackie from that '70s show.
Yeah.
Go back and fucking blow Kelso or
Like
whatever it is.
the Jack Daniels or whatever, the where she's like the commercial
Oh, yeah.
where she's like sealing up barrels of whiskey, and I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
That's not you swinging that hammer. You pay someone to do that. So how was Max Payne? I've never actually seen it.
You know what? I was really expecting a complete shit show, and it wasn't awful. Like, it was pretty lame overall, like very standard action movie. And like I said, Mila Kunis is just completely unbelievable. And she's like the leader of this, I don't know, gang or syndicate or some shit at the beginning, because like people come in and like are taking orders from her, and they're like, "Man, this is happening," and blah blah blah, whisper in her ears. And then later she's just on her own. They just disappear. Nobody says, "Where's your gang? They could be really helpful in this situation. We could use more guns. We could use 5 or 6 more guns in this situation." But no, it's just you. Why is it just you? You have an entire posse. It's awful. But
talk about a fucking video game movie that was just totally forgotten. Like, oh my god, did I ever forget that even?
That was one of the worst parts about it. Is like it's bad enough to be forgotten, but not so bad that it's good. You know what I mean? Like Double Dragon. Oh, it's juicy. It's so good. Like of all the cringy one-liners you can cram into a movie, they are the cringiest.
Oh,
like,
when they call them ugly and homely,
oh, yeah.
and you're supposed to
know.
laugh. They laugh on
like
camera
6
to
times.
make so that you know you're supposed to laugh. It's so good.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Scott
Alyssa
Wolf.
Milano with her like weird bleach blonde hair and her booty shorts.
Yeah, and I think that was like pre-workout phase for Alyssa Milano. Like she was still pretty attractive, but she looked a little doughy. I'm not gonna say it, but which is fine. She was still pretty hot.
That is sexist,
And,
Mike. How doughy did Scott Wolf look?
Very doughy. Like that
Okay.
was really sad. Like watching
I just want to
Scott
balance that out. Before we
Watching,
Doughy.
and watching Scott Wolf try to fight was probably the best part, because the other dude's obviously a martial artist, and he's doing like triple, fucking handspring kicks into people's faces, and Scott Wolf's hitting him with like a traffic cone, because he obviously can't fight. So he's just, I'm gonna comedically foil these enemies while my brother does all the ass beating. So it was pretty shitty.
You know what I did think was funny for like a movie that clearly just had no moral center and nothing to really stand for and just kind of sucked overall. They put Linda Lash in a full outfit. She was like wearing a suit throughout the entire movie. If you ever played Double Dragon, Linda Lash like fights in lingerie. Like that's her character. She fights in lingerie with a whip and a biker hat on. I mean, it's and I honestly, when I first started watching it, even as a kid, I was like, is she gonna have her boobs hanging out? Is that gonna be a thing?
In Tekken, Nina totally does. Like Nina barely fights in the whole movie, but she gets railed by Kazuya in a 3-way with Anna. So you get to see
Really?
Kazuya bang Anna and Nina
I
in a
don't
3-way.
remember that at all.
It's very dirty. The whole movie's very voyeuristic. Like Christy Montero shows up and she's got literally an inch of butt crack showing the entire movie. And it shows up more than any kind of choreographed fight scene is this chick's butt crack. It was awful.
Britt,
What?
how was your week?
I don't know. Are we recording?
Yeah, fuck you. We
Are
are
you sure?
recording.
Can
You
you,
said
like-
you said Overwatch and babies last time. I wanted to bring it back to you so you could.
You've already reiterated that this is the 3rd time, so I'm pretty sure
It's not the third
the
fucking
listeners
time.
know.
The
Yes.
listeners
Make sure that
haven't
we
heard
did
that.
it this time. That's all. We gotta make
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. As long as we're recording, because I don't want to waste my breath. I'm just.
Well, don't worry. You won't have to waste your breath when I go apocalypse on your ass.
Oh my
Segue
God. Segue.
into
Troy.
our first story.
It's time now for Zero Lives News.
You and your casual violence towards women.
Yeah, not necessarily a video game, but I wanted to talk a little bit about this. I know everybody already got their hot fire out when I wasn't recording, but let's try. Let's put forth a little bit of effort. So dumb old Rose McGowan decided to make a stink about this X-Men Apocalypse ad, this billboard that was all over the country of Apocalypse choking Mystique, the main character of the film, the hero of the film. The villain was acting bad on a billboard, and she made a big enough stink. A bunch of people jumped in, made a big deal out of it. Fox has now officially apologized and is removing all of the billboards.
This whole thing is absolutely crazy. Like, the whole idea that people are upset because a woman is being choked by a supervillain, and the woman is a hero, it's that whole idea of this feminist fake movement, as I'm referring to it now, which I just came up with, so you didn't miss that in the first recording. But the idea of, why can't a woman be the hero and be shown in danger on a billboard? And why do you feel like you need to protect them and take them down off of there? You want a man up there to be the hero of the billboard? It should be the feminist movement of let women do what they want and stop trying to patrol everything that women do and see if it's okay with you first.
And I mean, the point you made in our first recording was that, you know, women are soldiers now, and women are, and the idea is to be shown as equals. So, you know, they shouldn't have this idea that this woman needs to be protected, that she's, you know, should be coddled. If she's put in danger as a soldier, then that's something that, you know, that's what equality is about. So we should see that and look at it as more of like good. That's more of an equal representation. Because if it was a man up there on the billboard, nobody would have batted an eye. And that is fine because he's a soldier in a war. Well, she is too. So seeing her in danger shouldn't have been such a big deal.
Yeah, she's fighting to save the world from this supervillain. And by the way, in the movie, she's enlisting the help of children to fight a supervillain to save the world, which no one seems to bring up or no one seems to care about or see as a big deal because it's not, because it's a fucking superhero movie. But yeah, Mike made a fantastic point. If it was a fucking dude, no one would care. Mike actually made a really fucking good point in the earlier recording, which was,
Would you like to hear it again?
Yeah, I would actually. I think it comes better coming out of you. You had another name for a potential spin-off for this film that might actually bother you if this was the billboard.
Not if it was a spin-off, but if the movie...
Did we seriously just lose Mike?
Fucking just lost Mike. Oh my Jesus!
Make sure you notch the time.
I'm gonna hang up on him and call him back. Oh, that's so good. I'm sorry. That's really fucking funny to me.
And we have our cold open.
They can't all be winners, guys. Let me. Yeah, there he is. Let me call him back.
Mike.
Okay, Mike, where is he? Did he like? Are we getting texties?
No, we're not.
Now we'll never know what his movie title was.
I'm gonna call him up. Hang on a second.
There he is.
There
Are
he
you
is.
fucking shitting me? So, Brittany, how's it going?
Hi, Andrew. It's going really good. When can we play Overwatch again? I'm getting really
Hey, buddy,
good.
what's up?
Oh, we gotta play tomorrow.
What happened?
My internet went out.
James is down
You're-
for it.
Your internet's completely and totally out.
I'm rebooting it now, so hopefully this all works out. This happens occasionally, like twice a day or twice a week. We will get this, but whatever. Just
So Mike, I have you on the air right now. So would you like to continue while you reboot your internet?
Not really. I kind of just want to rage out.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Use that apocalyptic rage to tell everyone what you feel this movie should be called.
Oh, okay. Did you not get that part?
No, we didn't. You literally you were just about to say it, didn't you? What are you doing, Britt? Why are you jamming pencils into your hair?
Beautiful. No, that's absolutely.
I was saying go a
fantastic.
little
But
closer.
We are recording, so that's good. No, and I don't think it should be called this. What I was saying that if this was called Choke a Bitch the movie, and if Apocalypse is standing there in a white tank top and fucking choking out his battered wife, that might be a bit much. But it's an X-Men movie, like we know who Mystique and Apocalypse are, and I think that, you know, it's not that big a deal. Equating it to, you know, domestic violence seems fucking ridiculous. She's a blue person and he's a big alien in armor. Like, how is this misconstrued as, oh, they're promoting spousal abuse? No, I'm pretty sure that's inaccurate.
Well, you didn't know. What you don't know is that there's a deleted scene in the movie where they got married. That's what Rose McGowan knows that you don't.
And that billboard was made like right after he had a hard day at work and a few Coors Lights.
He lost his bowling match with Dr. Doom, Thanos, and fucking and Baron Zemo.
And she fucking overtook the casserole, and he just was not having it, dude.
Word.
That makes way more sense now.
So while I've got you here, I think we're just gonna keep moving on. I'm gonna keep until we can get you back on the Skype call. So I want to get into the next point here, which is what is that?
That's Mike.
It is.
Wait, you're back on
He's
the call.
on.
I should be on the call.
Well, why didn't you tell me that before you
Am I
start
echoing?
screeching in our ears, you lunatic?
I'm in multiple places at once. Oh, shit. Dropped the call. All right.
Of course I fucking dropped the call. We're keeping all that in. I don't give a fuck.
That's fine.
So you gotta make chicken salad out of chicken shit. as Steve Austin likes to say.
Wait, what?
You
No.
make
Shit
chicken
salad.
salad out of chicken shit.
Have a bite. That's what we're having.
I get the whole if life gives you lemons,
It's the same
make
thing. It's a
lemonade.
cooler way to
No,
say the
it's
lemon
not.
lemonade
You
thing.
cannot make chicken
Make a
salad out of
sandwich.
shit.
out of
Find
Literal
this
no.
other
Anyway.
Continue.
Anyway, so next up, I'm going to get in really quickly. I'm just going to mention WWE 2K17. They've announced their pre-order DLC character that they want to use to convince everyone to buy this game. It's Bill Goldberg from the old WCW days. Who's next? Making a weird fucking face at the hard camera. Doesn't know how to fucking wrestle, but gets shot to the moon. That Bill Goldberg. Fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin knockoff. Came to WWE in the early 2000s and stunk the fuck out of the place. I have no clue who thinks this character is going to sell video games. But I guess wrestling fans are also, like, by and large, kind of easy to sell shit to, myself included. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm taking too hard line of a stance on this, but we talk about that quite a bit on this week's One Sweet Wrestling podcast that dropped this past Wednesday. So I won't go too deep into that, but it was a little bit of video game news, and I know we've got some crossover fans here, so I wanted to bring that up. Next up, Fallout 4 mods are now available on the Xbox One. So Bethesda has taken the time to essentially share their creative suite, what they use to actually program and develop different portions of the game with the player base, and now it is not only available on PC as it would always be anyway, but now it's available on Xbox One. And what interested me was there's a claim out there right now that the Xbox One is seeing about 50 times more traffic than the PC version.
Yeah, and I think that part of these numbers come from the fact that a lot of the PC market, a very, very high percent of the PC market that's modding is going to the Nexus. And also it kind of hurt them a little that people hacked together some mods before the creation kit was released. So some people kind of had their modding fill maybe for now. Like I'm personally waiting for all the DLC to come out, and then I will play the game from start to finish again once all the DLC's out. But the fact that Bethesda, the fact that they went ahead and made this creation kit for everyone, I think is absolutely fantastic. They do the creation kits before. They are the backbone of the modding community for these games. But the fact that they brought it to Xbox One, that's fucking huge. Everybody was stoked for it, and they delivered, hands down. Like, they met the hype. They brought the best mods. It's amazing.
So, what do you think now? Because I never was huge into PC gaming as far as like mods go and stuff. But what do you think now that Bethesda is going to have them on their own servers? They're going to be monitoring and allowing and not allowing certain mods at their discretion. You know, whereas PC, for instance, they have unlimited access to whatever the heck people create. It's an open world. How do you think that's going to differ and affect console versus PC?
I see console definitely being limited to, like, not to a bad point, but being limited on those kind of small, specific, extreme mods. Like, everybody knows there's sex mods for Skyrim and stuff, but even some of those are banned from the Nexus. Like, you have to go to special websites or special forums to even track those down. But I think overall, the acceptance that they've shown in the modding allowed on Xbox One is going to be good enough. Like, you're getting awesome. 99% of what you want, and there will be a few people out there who maybe feel a little butthurt that their first, favorite mod isn't going to make it. But 99% of the community is going to just be completely satisfied by what they've heard.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the idea might be that, I can create a mod and then I can just put that on my Xbox One, or are they only allowing certain ones? I guess I'm still a little fuzzy on it.
So you have to upload it through their in-game server. So when you're playing the game, it's super easy. You hit like start, you go to mods, and you just hit like yes, that one, and it installs it right for you. So it just makes it super simple. But yeah, if you want to make it, you make it with the creation kit, and then it has to follow a couple like install rules. There's some very advanced mods that have special like manual install instructions.
Okay.
You can't port those to Xbox.
Right
This is
on.
all free DLC now?
Yeah, basically, you can add
Nice.
content, you can add quests. People will do. People add characters, companions. The Macho Man Randy Savage mod actually made it, and he
Yes.
replaces the
Yes.
death. Yeah, he replaces the death clause. So
Yeah, but we have another show on Black Cover Radio that's about wrestling, and you mentioned Macho Man Randy Savage. So can we just keep it over there on that show? I don't want you mixing chocolate with my peanut butter.
I could try to avoid that.
Okay.
With his crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone who
Anyways.
knows me knows that crunchy peanut butter is the only way to go.
Too bad we don't have your 2-hour rant about wrestling like that we didn't record earlier because somehow we magically lost it.
I didn't do
I
a
fell
2-hour
asleep.
rant. I did
I
about
fell
10. I
asleep.
did about 10 minutes, and in the beginning I did 5, and you guys kept bringing shit back up and pulling the conversation back to wrestling. That had nothing
10
to do
minutes
with
is still about 9.5
everybody.
minutes long.
Everybody had a joke that they wanted to make. Everyone had something they needed to fucking interject. Every time somebody puts up the sign for us to move on, everybody's like, "Oh, one more joke," myself included. So fuck you, not my problem.
Going back to Fallout 4 mods, one of the writers for Project Nerd in the video game section, his name is Reed. He wrote this article up about a DLC that's coming out or not a DLC, I'm sorry, a player-made mod for Fallout 4 that's apparently supposed to be bigger than Far Harbor. So it's going to add more content than even that DLC, and it's called Cascadia. I don't think it's out yet, but it's something for Fallout 4 fans to probably keep an eye on.
I will say, yeah,
What
these are
goes on
cool
in it?
to
What's it
watch.
based on? It's big, but what's in it? I mean, does that
It's
just mean it's a big map?
it takes place in Seattle, I believe.
Nice.
So yeah, so it should be cool.
I'm
so
just
we might
curious,
get
like big,
zombified
saying
Andrew.
the map is big is great, but
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be the Seattle area, which kind of opens the door for like Fallout 4 different areas. So like the whole country could, like the Fallout 4 world could expand over the whole country, which would be real fucking tight. So
Yeah, the creation kit is the tools that the developers use now, and so you'll see some people go after these really ambitious mods, and they'll get publicity for them. Some of them come to like fruition. I can't say that fucking word.
That was right.
So yeah, some of them will actually happen. But what some people do is they are literally like trying to get a job at Bethesda, and so they
Right.
will prove that they can do this crazy amount of work. And like after a year of working on it and putting out a demo, Bethesda will be like, "We want to hire you," and it dies. It does happen, and some modders do get jobs by doing these massive things, and they don't get finished. So hopefully this one will.
Britt, did you have something? You had a finger up.
Actually, I was gonna ask if I could do this segue.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
I guess
That's a weird.
yeah,
You kind of did. I'll tell you what. You can do this segue if you're once you finish the segue, you're willing to get me another beer.
Dude, do you realize that the reason I want to do this segue is because these three they have MMO boners, and they each get a separate topic here about the DLC for different MMOs, and I get to sit on my hands.
I will go.
I was gonna
go
get you
apocalypse
beer.
on your ass.
You know what? Don't make me have a feminist movement right here in this house. Smackdown, let's go. Okay.
Okay, so why don't you segue us into our next little mini section here?
All right then. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now move forward with the MMO boners, aka MMO orgy, for these three men in all of their DLC, starting with Final Fantasy. Is it 14? Heck.
IV. Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, 10 IV. So one, that was a little bit more of an introduction than a segue. I think you might need to bone
okay.
up on what a segue is, but that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Hey, we went from one topic to the other, did we not?
Yes. So we all three brought
mission
in,
accomplished.
We all three
Thank
brought
you.
in a little bit of news, a little bit of information about separate games. All three of us being myself, Andrew, and Mike. Different games that we play that we all just kind of want to touch on a little bit here. So Final Fantasy XIV patch 3.3, Revenge of the Horde, actually drops this Tuesday, June 7th, which is my birthday. I'm seriously considering. I've never done this in my life, and I'm seriously considering taking the day off of work to play this patch. I've always wanted to play new content from this game when it was fresh. and I've never really had an opportunity to do that. That being said, I won't get too deep into it, but it's really exciting stuff. It's a patch that's getting a lot of people who play very, very, very fucking excited, and this trailer is getting people very emotional. It's the capping off of a story that has been going on since Heaven's Ward 3.0 dropped around this time last year, and I know that we've got a number of crossover fans on this show, people who I know from in-game on Final Fantasy XIV, so I wanted to kind of bring that up and promote the hype. If you do want to hear a little bit more than that, a little bit more shameless promotion, last night, we recorded the very first episode of the Captain's Quarters, which is a monthly show that I am doing with my free company from Final Fantasy XIV, which is general news and info on the game. It's a little more focused on what's actually going on in my free company itself, but at the same time, we do talk a lot about the game. So if you play or it's something that you're interested in and you want to know a little bit more about, that'll be a cool thing to check out, and that will drop. That'll actually have dropped by the time this episode comes out. So check that out on Black Coat Radio. But aside from that, End of the Dragon Song War, patch 3.3, I'm super fucking excited about it. A lot of really new, interesting content. So if you are a lapsed player in Final Fantasy XIV, I would argue this is probably the biggest incentive you've had in 12 months to come back and resub to this game. And I think June 7th is going to be a day that maybe you should consider prying open your wallet and pulling out that extra $12-13 and going to town.
Very good, Troy. Thank you for that tidbit.
Oh, you're doing segues for everybody.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have Andrew with some excellent ESO information. For those of you who don't know, that's Elder Scrolls Online. Andrew, take it away.
All right, thank you for that.
I'm surprised you knew what that was.
Easier. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier to move into this. Just a quick snippet, the Elder Scrolls Online Dark Brotherhood DLC just released on Tuesday, and it's probably one of the more original DLCs I've ever played in an MMO. Games have had it, but not MMOs. And they've introduced stealth assassinations in the game, not just stealthing into combat, but straight-on stealth followed by a brutal, gory killing animation on an NPC, along with a new storyline, new content, new areas, and all that stuff. But hands down, like, it is a fucking blast. In the first mission, you walk up, they give you the dagger, the assassin dagger, and you start sneaking through a manor and all their tunnels and kitchens and shit, and you just start slaughtering everyone from behind, and it is fantastic. So much fun to play.
So what's the cooldown like on your assassinations? Is it short? Is it short enough? Is it short enough to be entertaining?
There is no cooldown as usual, so that's a
I didn't
little
want you to have to
argument
wait a second and a half.
Yeah, that's a little mistake that I made, where I made a fast judgment based on early footage from early leveling of Final Fantasy.
You're admitting that was a mistake?
I will admit it was a mistake. I will admit that the first few levels I'm sure would bother me a little, but as the game goes, I would definitely be content and would be happy.
That's every RPG. No one likes, like, for instance, no one likes going out into the field around Cornelia Castle in the first Final Fantasy and taking multiple hits to kill a goblin. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to go through that portion, but they can't just give you the keys to the Porsche as soon as you start the game.
Yeah, that's definitely how it goes. But check out the Dark Brotherhood DLC. It brings some new stuff to ESO. One downside, don't watch the trailer. The fucking trailer was terrible. All they showed was like 3 killing animations. They didn't even mention that there's new quests and shit. It just looked like you buy a DLC and now you could do killing animations. Like, it fucking... Oh, God, it was such a bad trailer. Such a fucking bad trailer.
It's another place where Square Enix is doing it better, because the trailer for Revenge of the Horde, I feel like that could sell the game to people who have never played it before. It is very epic.
Yeah, you can't judge ESO on the trailers. They do terrible on that. That's all I got. Back to you, Brittany.
Thank you for that snippet of ESO and kitchens and shit. Kitchens and shit. Can we move on now to our dear friend, what's your name again?
God, what the fuck's your name?
You are so bad at this.
Mike.
It's like Bob Barker stepped aside and let one of the pretty ladies who open up their secret prices on The Price is Right.
Shut up, I'm talking here, okay?
Start announcing the show.
Mike with his one true love, XCOM 2. Let's hear some more about it, shall we?
First of all, it's not an MMO. So the way you introduce this is all I have an MMO. news.
So that's what Troy said. Okay.
I actually I didn't
He
correct
doesn't
it.
hit record. You can't.
I didn't correct it at the last minute specifically because I knew Brittany didn't know that, and I wanted you to call her out on it. I knew it was
Fuck
bad.
you guys.
On it. Okay, well, anyways, I've been playing the Alien Hunters DLC for XCOM 2, and it's pretty fucking sick. Like, I really like the changes that they've made. Some of the stuff, like, it's not a huge departure from the main game. Like, it's all going to be pretty much the same. There are a few more missions. Some of the cool stuff that they added, though, is 4 unique weapons that they cannot be reproduced, and they all have special attributes, and they're really fucking interesting. Like, one's a frost grenade, which is kind of, standard. One's a special pistol that if you get a kill with the pistol, you go back into concealment. It's really badass. There's another one that's really powerful, but it's like one shot, and then you have to reload it every time, so you only have like one shot in it. And then there's one other thing that I'm spacing right now, but there's these four unique weapons. Oh, the fucking axes!
You just pulled a Rick Perry.
The axes for the fucking for Rangers. So instead of a sword, they have these double axes on their back, and they're fucking sick. They're more powerful, and you can during a mission you have one chance to chuck one of them for a distance kill, and it's fucking tight. So there's these 4 main new weapons that are really cool. But something that's really interesting is there are new boss fights. So there are like alien rulers that you will encounter. The first one, like the only one that I have fought so far, is the Viper ruler. So it's the big snake, and it's a boss fight, and they have a shit ton of health, and they're powerful as fuck, and like they go every turn. So it's not like your whole squad moves and then they go. Every time your squad makes a move, they'll just move to an area that then the ruler can go. Then they take their shot. Then the ruler can go. Like, it just goes and goes and goes.
So he goes. There's still 6 units in XCOM 2. So he goes 6 times for your entire round. Is what you're saying?
12.
Holy shit! Really?
Yep. Every action, he gets a turn.
Oh, so every action! Holy shit!
It's fucking rough.
Oh, and by the way, Britt, I just realized what I'm getting with that money that your grandmother gave me for my birthday. This just struck me like a ton of bricks that I still haven't played fucking XCOM 2 yet. Oh, so I just had an epiphany.
You already used my computer like 5 days out of the 7. This isn't fair.
Fucking spot, Brittany.
Ah, damn it.
Anyways, if you kill these rulers, you can make special armor. So now that this Viper's dead, and I just finished the research for it, but I can make Viper armor. So it has this big like Cobra hood on it, and it's fucking sweet. It has different properties. I think there's an Archon ruler alien, and there's a Berserker ruler alien, if I'm not mistaken. So you're gonna run into at least those guys. And on top of this DLC, they also released a pretty big patch that fixed a ton of shit, and it's way too much to even go into detail. But if you ever want to check that out and see what they tweaked, like they are taking care of XCOM 2, just like I knew they would. I was like, they're gonna make sure this baby's nice and bundled, and he gets his milk, and he's
you make that jack off hand signal, Britt, but you never played an XCOM. That's all I can say to you. Like actually, when it hit me like a ton of bricks, I still haven't played XCOM 2, and now I have some money to play. I was like, holy shit! Happy birthday to me! That is the greatest fucking thing ever. I'm so fucking excited.
The fun thing is, this isn't even the last DLC to come out. So there's still Shin's Last Gift coming out, which is going to offer a brand new soldier class.
Oh, poor Dr. Shin. I know something's going to happen to that poor bastard.
Do you have to buy these? Are they free?
Well, if you get them in the bundle, if you get like the ultimate, you get
like
everything
the
edition
pack or something like that.
Something
it's
like
basically
that.
their season pass. We talked about it in the previous episode.
Yeah. You can buy each one individually, but really, you're gonna want Alien Hunters. You're gonna want Shin's Last Gift because they add more to the gameplay. Anarchy's Children is really just cosmetic stuff, but really that's thrown in for free if you get the season pass. Essentially, with the way the payment structure works, so it's the good way to go. I mean, Anarchy's Children, it's just all cosmetic, but the other ones, they're gonna add some cool shit. I'm looking forward to Shin's Last Gift. The unique weapons, like, it's such a good idea. It fits well into the world, fits well into the gameplay. I would like to see them do more things like this, but I think Borderlands kind of spoiled me on the I want a ton of fucking unique weapons with tons of fucking abilities and crazy shit. And I know this is going a little off topic, but Andrew, did you ever get the gun in Borderlands 2 that goes bang, 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 bang? Like when you shoot it, it makes that noise.
Yeah.
It's like a psycho or what. And that gun's so awesome, but it's the most annoying fucking thing in the world. It's like, man, this game's fucking crazy. But anyways, back to topic.
Yeah, well, let's actually move. Britt, would you like to segue us one final time out of MMO boners into our next topic?
No.
Okay, so moving on, Capcom actually released a pretty meaty gameplay trailer. I want to say this actually came out shortly after we recorded last week, so it's not the newest thing, but for Umbrella Corps. And I gotta say, the more I see of Umbrella Corps, the more excited I am. We've mentioned on a previous episode how I was one of the few people that really thought that Operation Raccoon City was a really good game and was a really fresh and interesting idea. I was actually listening to another video game podcast this week who basically they basically just described the base core gameplay of Umbrella Corps as in it's a third-person shooter where you're fighting against another team and there's the X factor of zombies that are completely neutral. Like, wow, that's a fantastic idea. It seems really fresh and new. And the whole time I was like, no. Capcom did it. They did it like 5 years ago. They did it. Like, people can't just start saying that it's fucking fresh now. But the big difference here is while that game at its core was a pretty simple third-person shooter with some basic abilities, Umbrella Corps seems like it's really going to have a strong depth of customization, and it seems like it is going to utilize an engine far similar to more modern Resident Evils like 4, 5, and 6 for its action gameplay. And I'm getting more excited the more I see this game.
Just to fill the analyst role, I want to let people know it's not a $60 game. It's $30 for the base, $40 for the upgraded edition that brings you skins and shit. It's PS4 and PC only, and the PC requirements actually seem like a little high for what I see in the trailer. Like, when I watched the trailer, I was like, it looks like a smooth game, but it doesn't look like a graphic demanding game. So I don't think you really need that powerful of a PC to pull this game off. But yeah, I mean, it's not my style of game, and so I can't really get too hyped for it. Like,
you don't want to play a third-person shooter, but where you also have to deal with zombies?
Like, I mean, it does seem a bit interesting, but I'm gonna hate saying this. I hate it, and I know I could get shit talked for this, but like,
Please don't shit on it just because it carries a Resident Evil brand but doesn't have any of the characters.
No.
I get so tired of that fucking argument.
It's the third-person shooter trying to be competitive. I can't get into them. Like, the Division.
I don't think
even,
this is going to be competitive. I don't think anybody's going to try to make this competitive. There's no way. Having the randomness of the zombies just attacking everybody completely takes it out of any possibility for being competitive.
Yeah, you can't, like, plan for it. So, I mean, will people play it? Sure. Is it going to be a hit? No. But
yeah, I mean, I know it's in third person, but all I could think of was, like, is this Call of Resident Evil? Like, that's what this looks like to me. Like, Resident Evil is completely different genre. Like, it's such a departure from what I expect from the game, and now it feels like just another third-person shooter. Like, we got The Division, we got all these fucking shooters, we got Gears of War. And it's like, do we need another one? So there's zombies in it. I mean, play Left 4 Dead or fucking, Red Dead Redemption with the zombie shit, whatever. But I just don't see what the big appeal is. And it just feels like I'm just sick of third-person and first-person shooters, I think, in general. Like, it could be aliens and werewolves and sharks on land and shit, and I'd be like, whatever. It's the same damn thing.
See, now, I personally think that's what this game is doing different, is that zombie. But it's the same way I felt about Operation Raccoon City. That zombie aspect is what makes it unique and different. Where I see a flaw in what I've seen in this game is, yes, it does seem like they're trying to make it appeal a little bit too much to the Call of Duty fan base, and what they are removing is some of the really cool class specific skills that Operation Raccoon City had. Like, for instance, there was a character that could turn on basically Widowmaker's ult from Overwatch, where you could see everybody through the walls. There was a character who had that, but it was just for himself. He could see where enemies were at all times. There was a guy who had prox mines. There was a guy who could just armor himself up and make himself really powerful to fulfill a tank role. And on top of that, I haven't seen any like special infected. Like, one of the things that was really great about Raccoon City was that Mr. X, aka Tyrant, the final boss from the original Resident Evil, could drop into a battlefield at any time and completely throw everything into upheaval because everyone had to deal with him, and he was extremely powerful and extremely difficult to kill. So I gotta ask myself, like, if anything, I would say that's probably what's going to end up making this game weaker than it should be. So it just is the fact that they don't have the X factor of the zombies. Maybe isn't enough of an X factor unless you put that dude from RE4 with the chainsaw in it. that can auto kill you. That'd be pretty fucking sick.
I saw an ad for an indie game that's being made, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it used zombies as a weapon, so all these zombies would be attacking. Like, there's giant hordes, and I think they threw like a grenade in it that kind of like, took over these zombies, so they can make those packs of zombies attack the other players. So they're like, zombies were the weapon, and there were special infected. So like, one would run up on you and it explode. A whole horde would jump on you and eat you. Like, it was pretty neat. It was a pretty neat idea. So I thought that was a little unique. But other than that, like, if it's not going to do anything like that, zombies are just showing up, then whatever.
Yeah, I think it has potential. I wanna withhold my judgment. I think it's mostly because being someone who enjoyed Raccoon City so much and thought that it was a shame how the launch and lack of evolution of that game went, and the fact that the reason people really hated on that game had nothing to do with the gameplay. Everyone was like, they said we were going to get to go kill Leon Kennedy, and I didn't get to do it. And they said all these characters are going to be... Which, yes, they fucked up. They fucked that up. But those people completely missed the point of that game. And I think a lot of people missed out on a good game because of it. So I'm excited because this feels like a high-end mulligan for Raccoon City. But next up... I want to talk a little bit about. Actually, I want to talk a lot about Overwatch.
Wait 1 second before
What?
you get into the next subject.
What?
Did you see that bad entertainment? I mean, fuck, I keep saying that. The rad entertainment rebuttal
Well,
thing?
it is kind of bad entertainment.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You mean the one we
They
spent all the
posted a
time
new one
going
up.
over? They posted a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? No, you know what? You're right, because I did hear this, because actually fucking number one superfan Brian brought this up to me, but I kind of shrugged it off. Why? Do we need to watch it? I'm confused. What's so funny?
Yeah, you should watch it.
Are we going to watch it?
I guess
We should watch it. Can we turn it?
Yeah. Let me set my computer up here to play it.
But, I mean, we should actually. I know this is against the rules. Maybe I don't know, but can we post it on our page or go watch it because
you know what? Let's do this. Let's do
their
this.
faces. They do it in this weird way, and it's just oh my god.
Let's do this.
Cringeworthy.
Britt, you go ahead. Mark it down on our list of things that we're gonna post so that people have this for the show. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the episode right here. We're gonna stop. We're all gonna go watch it. We're gonna come back and provide our reaction. So you go ahead and our listeners watch this video, and I'm gonna cut this for a second, and then we're gonna come back. All right. So I'm gonna cut it in 3, 2, 1. All right, so we just came back from watching the latest rad entertainment rebuttal. It was
I don't
hard.
know how to feel about it.
Well, it was hard. It was definitely hard to find. I will say that when you go and you Google rad entertainment, and you have to go down 6 or 7 different links and try all the different rad entertainments that already fucking exist to find it. It's kind of a difficult thing to fucking find. I feel like when people name their organizations or their entertainment brands or whatever you want to call it, you should probably do a quick Google search to find out how many of those already fucking exist first, because you just wasted a bunch of my fucking time trying to find this video.
I wonder if sad entertainment is available, because I feel like that's a little more appropriate.
It felt pretty fucking appropriate for this video, right?
This video, they all seemed really upset.
They seemed dour. Dour.
I'm pretty sure I saw one of them sniff back a tear at one point. I started to feel a little bad.
I hate to chime in, but sad entertainment's already taken.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, even S.A.D. entertainment is taken. So
What about sad and bad entertainment?
Well,
that
anyway.
one's probably good to go.
So so after last week, our rivals, I think we could say at this point, found the time to put up kind of a half-ass video that essentially depicts them all as like a homeless version of the guys from Workaholics, sitting there bitching at us, making fun of us for X, Y, and Z reason. But I guess never mind. I should say that was I think that was the idea. But instead, they complimented us, they apologized to us, while simultaneously trying to stick it to us, and so I'm so fucking confused by this right now. I don't know if they're trying to find their way back into our good graces, or they're just trying to sarcasm us into oblivion. I mean, how did everyone else feel about this?
I was a little confused. Like, I started to feel like maybe they're fans and we took it the wrong way. Because it seemed a little bit, I don't know. They seemed to love us quite a bit, and they seemed to agree with everything that we said. So I didn't know where to go, I guess.
I think my favorite part of the whole video was the fact that each of them proved, or showed off like their neck beard going on, and I kind of personally enjoyed that. It
Well,
made
they
me
took
feel,
they actually took the time to point out that none of them have neck beards.
well,
They could have
they
shaved.
shaved it, yeah.
You think they
shaved.
shaved it? You think they
I'm
were?
pretty sure
they,
they
were.
shaved.
They were so. They
Of
were
course.
so shamed. They were so shamed that they. Yeah. Yeah. I actually.
At least own your neck beard. If you got one, at least own it. Like, just accept it. Be proud.
Well, I just want to take a second to say that when I toss this up, this is the first time that I've really gotten to sit down and look straight into the faces of all three of the gentlemen from Rad Entertainment, and I couldn't the entire time I couldn't help myself but think, going left to right across the screen as you're watching this video, or I'll post an image up on the Facebook page as well, so you can sort of reference it. I did not know that Charles Manson had escaped from prison. I didn't know that Kurt Cobain had survived the shotgun blast, and I did not know that Yukon Cornelius smoked.
He does look like you got Cornelius. He needs a little red hat.
Can you do a side by side with all of this so we can
Absolutely. Brittany, do you know who
Oh,
Yukon Cornelius is?
I have no fucking
Okay,
idea,
I
but
just
I
wanted
bet
to check.
it's gonna be hilarious.
I just wanted to check.
That's-
I would actually say that's probably the closest one. The other two are me kind of being a dick, but Yukon Cornelius is fucking bang on.
I didn't see Charlie Manson. I saw a sleepy hobo, maybe, but I didn't see what you call him, boring Charles Manson. I guess I could see a little bit.
I couldn't make it past their faces. They kept getting frozen while one was talking. I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened? And they were frozen in these weird, awkward positions. Just not flattering.
I kind of feel like I need to stop giving him shit though. Like, I'm afraid one of these guys is gonna slit their wrists, and it's gonna be my fault. I'm gonna have that on my conscience. Like, after watching that video, I was like, damn. I think we hurt some feelings, so...
I don't know. I feel like we may have elevated some feelings, because they actually do a fucking dubstep number in the middle of this video. And again, I'm not... I guess it's because it's supposed to be me stuttering or something that's supposed to be getting at us, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you're dancing to dubstep with the Infinity Gauntlet on. That's got fucking nothing to do with me. That's got nothing to do with me. No, it felt like three guys trying to deliver an old school wrestling promo, but all of them just fucking shot up a little too much black tar heroin, and they were sleepy. They were just sleepy. They were really, really sleepy. I feel like there might have been some fire behind those words if everyone just took the time to fucking wake up, toss some fucking cold water on their faces, and kick the junk like Ewan McGregor in Trainspotting. Choose life.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
what is the definition of a rebuttal anyway? Because I'm pretty sure they called you the Hulk. They commented us on several different things, and it was just like that's not it. That's not it.
They mentioned that I'm not here all the time. Like, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Well, not only that, but I kind of feel like it was a retread of last week, which there was a lot of backpedaling, a lot of retreading, and a lot of apology in this. You're right. I almost feel guilty. I do. I almost feel guilty, but I don't know what else to do, because at the same time I feel like these guys have the name of my baby in their mouths, and I just don't like it.
What?
I don't like it. 0 lives. Keep my
Get
name.
my ba-
I was thinking
Keep
of
my name.
Chloe
Keep my name
for a
out your
second.
mouth.
I'm like, what the fuck is our daughter's name doing in their mouth? I'm so confused.
Anyway.
This is one of those you shut your mouth when you're talking to me moments.
So Brittany, I took the time to look it up for you, actually, because he made an excellent point. So the definition of a rebuttal is a refutation or contradiction. Now, if we have to take the time to also define refutation and contradiction to help you understand what sort of content this video might have needed to have to actually have any sort of effect, I could do that. If you want to contact me at blackcoatradio@gmail.com, I would be happy to shove that particular bit of information directly up your ass. But that being said, I don't know. You're right, Mike. I don't know where else to go with this, because I feel like I could put this on at night when I'm trying to fall asleep, and it would function just as well as a lullaby as it would to a counter as a counter argument.
I'm just going to assume like they all should have just been holding big white flags, and that's going to be the end of it for me. So until something else happens, it's over for me.
All right. So, yeah. So I guess that's it. I would say the ball's in your court, but I feel like we just fucking popped the ball and kicked it to the side like Stephen Chow in Kung Fu Hustle. So take that, motherfucker. So moving on. Because what else are we going to do at this point? We're gonna get into... Brittany, do you have a clever name for the Overwatch portion of the show? Because we're going to do a lot of talking about Overwatch in the future. It is the biggest thing in games right now.
You put me on the spot. I didn't have time to think. What is this shit?
It is the hypest thing in games.
The
for sure.
hypest thing. Yes, I'm sorry. We have to appeal to our early 20s.
Overhype.
It's super dope fly hype.
Super dope fly hype.
Kids don't talk like that, Troy.
Super dope.
Stop trying to be cool.
Overfly hype. Super dope overfly hype.
Hashtag overfly hype.
Hashtag over.
Should I say that like an old Jewish woman to make it even worse?
Yes, please.
It's hashtag overfly hype. So anyway, Brittany actually brought this really, really fucking fantastic parody piece that she found on the internet about Overwatch that followed the whole Tracer's butt thing, where somebody actually started on the petitionsite.com, started a petition asking Activision to please remove guns from Overwatch, and it actually got just under its goal of 14,000 signatures. So many people were in on this joke. It absolutely blew my mind. It's a pretty short write-up, so I want to read this if you haven't checked this out. It says, thanks to the brave community organizers, Jeff Kaplan and Blizzard has finally done the right thing and removed a horribly sexist and offensive victory pose from a she character known as the Tracer.
She character.
Exactly. I laughed so hard at that. While this is a good start, we in the gaming community still have many concerns about the upcoming Overwatch game, including the use of guns to violently kill other players, sometimes even going as far as shooting each other in the head. We, the gaming community, would like to put a stop to this brutality. Please sign this petition if you agree. If we can cleanse Overwatch of all its problematic guns and sexuality, we will finally have the first-person shooter that we can play with our entire family. This is just dripping with so much fucking sarcasm. I was in love with this the second I read it.
The fucked up part is, like, I don't think everybody was in on the joke. I'm sure a lot of the people that signed this petition were like, yeah, get guns out of Overwatch, you fucking violent bastards. So that makes it even better for me.
Well, to those people, all I can say to you is there are 2 Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare games. Go play them.
I really think that the best part of this entire petition is reading through the comments. Shit, like somebody took the time to copy and paste the entire lyrics to Rickrolling, and like it's signed by your mom. Like, there's just so many cheesy fucking things in here that it's pretty fun to actually watch through. So there's even one guy who's he just says TF2 for the win. That's it. That's all he fucking said. Like, he signed the petition. He was like, I like TF2. So it's pretty fun to read through them. But I like that the community actually went after this, and I think if Blizzard hadn't of like changed the butt pose to another butt pose, that people might have actually been more upset and willing to try and push this just to prove a point.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny because yes, the entire lyrics for whatever the fuck, "Never Gonna Give You Up" is signed your mom from South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. But the next the next comment is actually from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and it's signed Fag McGay. and this person for some reason posted all of the lyrics to "Bring Me to Life" by Evanescence. I don't know why, but in a weird way, I find that even more fucking hilarious. Yeah, there are some absolutely brutal comments in this, but I really feel like, again, there's a lot of people who are just kind of in on the joke, and that's what makes it fun. Yeah, this was something I almost wanted to print this up and put it up at work just so I could kind of look at it and laugh every now and again. But moving on from that, so we've talked a lot lately about Overwatch porn. We spent a lot of time talking about the specifics of Overwatch porn running absolutely rampant. What's really interesting, though, is Blizzard is actually taking the time to issue, or I should say they've hired a third party to issue takedown notices for Overwatch porn. They are absolutely trying to nip this particular monster in the bud, or in the butt, for that matter, because they're going out of their way to try and take down as much Overwatch porn as possible.
I think that they're worried that it might hurt their microtransaction business down the road. Because, I mean, like, if you could just go search and see, like, the full thing with no mystery, why are you going to buy the skin that's, like, mysterious but still sexy? Like, I think they're just going after it. Like,
What a weird way to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the little, like, side flank view. Ain't nobody see that shit coming. But, like...
I would still buy the skin.
Side view still gets you going.
Because I gotta admit, like, I'm confused. I don't know why they're bothering. Why are you going after it?
Well,
like, I don't know.
One of the bits of information that has come out about this that helps it make some sense, I felt the way you did, is that they are actually specifically targeting Overwatch porn that was created with in-game modeling. So people are actually mining the game and actually pulling actual game models. They're creating the genitals on the characters and then making them do horrible things. So I think to a certain extent, they're probably using that to make a bigger statement, but to a certain extent, at the end of the day, it's actually protecting their actual assets they've created for the game.
That makes more sense.
But here's the thing, and I can counter that point in just a second, but they're not going to be able to stop this machine. For every 5 you take down, there's 10 more popping up, buddy. There's going to be Overwatch porn. Exactly. There's going to be Overwatch porn until the end of time. And, like, the thing is, they actually don't have any grounds for this, because if they were using in-game assets without changing them at all, you would be correct. But they are putting vaginas and dicks on them. So these assets have been changed, and they're being used for a parodic manner. Now, this is what Red vs. Blue did. So Red vs. Blue uses in-game Halo recordings. So they're able to use that, and it's covered under fair use because it's being used as a parody. They didn't even change anything. And now these guys are adding, different genitals or whatever else what have you, and they're using it in porn, which is classified as a parody of material. So they don't have any fucking grounds. They can't take it down. They might, and I mean, we talked, last time about YouTube videos being able to take down, and it was, unfounded. So they might be able to do that, but legitimately, legally, they don't really have any claim here.
All I can say is, Blizzard, Mike just WTFU'd the fuck out of you.
Yeah,
that is actually that is a fantastic argument, because at the end of the day, the character model of Tracer does not have a cervix. Unless it's modeled under her pants, that does not exist. Wow. And
then who's the pervert now?
Drops the mic, son.
Wow.
Into the argument.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I feel like that's pretty much the perfect way to put one of those bullets we're trying to take out of the game into the brain of that argument.
They shouldn't have worried so much about Tracer's butt. To be honest, the fact that blew up, like the publicity of that, I think overhyped that community as well, because it's like, oh, Tracer's butt, let me show you Tracer's butt. I got you some Tracer's butt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're always gonna have porn. You can search Pokemon porn. I'm gonna get Pikachu with titties if I wanted to.
Right.
Yeah, and if you think that people who make video game fan porn are going to stop because you're making a big deal about it, you clearly know nothing about the internet. I have this odd feeling that this time next week we are going to be having a conversation about how Overwatch porn doubled in its frequency.
Triple.
Yeah.
All that is a fucking challenge to these people.
Yeah, the more you fight it, the stronger they become.
It's probably
just leave it alone.
publicity.
Stop poking the bear.
It's probably another publicity stunt like Tracer.
Yeah.
You really think the Tracer butt pose was a publicity stunt?
I certainly do.
If it was genius.
True.
It was. Look at how
Well
much
done.
freaking, what's the one thing you need to do to push it over Battleborn? Publicity.
Well, actually, all you had to do to push over Battleborn was release it. That's all you had to do. Make it available to the public.
In the beginning, though, the hype around a game, it's like, oh, what's this Overwatch butt pose shit going on right now? I gotta go look. That puts Battleborn on the back burner. Right now, let's take down all this porn. Well, that brings it back into the front light
that's
again.
That's only until someone decides they want to fuck a Battleborn character. and then that'll change everything.
It's true.
They'll be upset when they don't get any. Like, nobody's making any Battleborn porn. This is bullshit.
let's move into some news that's actually broken about the game itself. So some shit that I'm really fucking interested in happening for the most part is apparently happening. There are tweaks inbound for McCree, for Diva, and for Reaper. I would argue that all of these are necessary. This is actually probably the first time that I have ever seen a developer react to player commentary in a level and balanced fashion, and admit that things need to be changed, and just be, I guess, it's the first time I've wholly agreed with it. I don't feel like it's people whining about shit. I don't feel like it's people whining about people being too good. There are just things in the game that are overpowered, underpowered, and so forth, and they just need to be tweaked. And the two big things here that I have that I have completely noticed and bitched about many times while we've been playing this game together is the power of McCree's fan the hammer ability and the underpower of Diva's guns. Holy shit, is she firing marshmallows out of that giant mech?
Yeah, I had to buff her so many times. Sorry.
No problem. I really like the changes that they're coming out here, especially with McCree. Like, they hit it perfectly on the simple fact that McCree fans the hammer for 420 damage. Then he rolls, which resets his reload immediately. Then he fans again for another 420. He can dish out 840 damage and kill any single character in the game. Like, he's not supposed to be able to do that. He is a DPS killer and a healer killer. And so the change that they're looking for is to try and help him not be able to kill your tanks instantly. So if you're a McCree player, you're still fine. You just can't necessarily go solo Roadhog, which you shouldn't be doing in the first place, but you're still going to be able to kill the Genji, the Tracer, the Mercy, and all that crap. Like, I think it's a great change that they're making.
Yeah, so for people who may not play or may not play the character or don't necessarily understand the way he works, in summation, essentially, like all the other characters in the game, McCree has a small handful of abilities that work in tandem with each other to create a specific offense. And he's the cowboy character. He carries a 6-shooter. It's essentially walking around it'd be like walking around with a Magnum in any other game, right? And you can fire 6 rounds and reload. You have his ability Fan the Hammer, which fires everything else left in the chamber. So if you fire all 6 of them, it's incredibly powerful. It's pinpoint accurate. And then the two abilities he has to help with that are he has a little stun flash grenade thing that he throws. So it stuns you, and you just stand there and get Fan the Hammer unloaded in your face, and then he has a dodge roll that also automatically reloads his gun at a high rate of speed. So what they're basically trying to avoid here, like Andrew's saying, is right now, theoretically, McCree can run up to a tank character that he should otherwise have to work to kill. He can stun them. He can fan the hammer, all 6 rounds of his revolver directed in their face, which is already overpowered, immediately dodge roll and fan the hammer again before they have a chance to fall out of stun. It is unbelievably overpowered and ridiculous.
I feel like he has like a sniper at close range too. Like, I've walked into a room with him as a Reaper, and Reaper's close range shotgun, bam bam, you're supposed to be dead. I have to give him like 4 hits. He walks in and I'm down in a second. Like, I don't even get to look at him. I'm like, oh, that was fucking McCree, But it's just insane.
Yeah, and so and then as far as Diva goes, she's the the giant mech character, and it's and I get where they're coming from. They're not really going to change her much. The argument they made was that since Diva is actually the most mobile of the tanks, she's extremely mobile because of her jump jets. So it was in the alpha version, she was a lot more her guns were a lot more powerful, and she could basically jump into a fight, annihilate everybody, and jump back out, and that was a pretty common occurrence. She was just too hard to kill, so they severely nerfed her guns. But as of right now, you're walking around with a giant mech with 2 machine guns, and you're causing almost no damage to even healers. Like, it's pathetic the small amount of damage that you cause. So even if they tweak her damage to increase it a little bit, that's completely worth it. I think the thing that people really miss out about her is that her pistol, when she's out of her mech, is really fucking powerful.
Yeah, fuck that Second Life.
That pistol is fucking powerful.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, let's not forget about Reaper here. They are making a slight change to him. His teleportation, if you haven't noticed, playing against a Reaper or even somebody on the same team, their teleportation smoke is all the same color. So you have to, like, do a double take. This Reaper spawning next to you, you think it's a teammate? Well, shit, it's an enemy, and he's about to fuck you up. So what they're going to do is actually color code it per team. So I believe it's going to be blue now if it's a friendly smoke. So at least you don't have to do that double take and you can still fight the battle, you know?
That's a pretty smart change.
I will say I don't think I've ever experienced it, but it makes perfect sense. And I guarantee you that there have been many people that have completely and totally burned an ultimate, thinking that they had to counter as ultimate because Mike, I know you haven't played the game, but the character, his ultimate ability, he carries these 2 shotguns, and when he uses his ultimate ability, he just spins around unloading his shotgun. It's one of the most devastating 360 attacks in the game, right? So he can teleport directly into the middle of a pile of enemies and just unload this thing. So if you're standing there and you see his teleport coming in and you don't know if it's friend or foe, the first thing you're doing is putting your focus on that teleport, right? Yeah. It absolutely should have been a different color to begin with, and it's really cool they're actually taking the time to do this. Even more interesting is the fact that we talked last week about how Blizzard is absolutely laying the fucking hammer down on cheaters in this game, and fast forward 7 days later, thousands of people, I believe it was actually 1,500 people in China alone, have already been perma-banned from this game for cheating, for hacking, and I think it is fucking fantastic. Thus far, I haven't heard a single story of false positives. It seems like Blizzard is going out of their way to verify everything, but once you are caught, you are caught. And what's great about this article that we've actually read is that it's actually documented. This one particular player, they've kind of taken all of these posts that he's done in forums, and this guy has gone out of his way to try to get back into the game, to do everything possible, right down to completely and totally fucking wiping his computer and coming back, and they still catch him within 24 hours every single time he comes back. That is fantastic.
I think my favorite part of this is the fact that Blizzard went quickly with it. So basically, for anyone that doesn't know, like, catching cheaters is a game of cat and mouse. So they need to identify the hack, find a way to identify who's using it, and then catch those people and ban them. And then the process continues. So the fact that they went really quick on this and they got a large amount of people banned instantly, which if you're dumb enough to get caught hacking, and then you think that you can hack again using the exact same hacking program, like, you're a freaking idiot. And you should not be hacking in the first place because you don't understand how it even works. You're just pushing a little button that somebody told you to download from It's Your Boy YouTube channel.
It's your boy.
Yeah, it's your boy.
He's so elitist about it. You fucking shitty assholes. You don't know how to hack.
Well, this is the same. You know what? This is the same mentality that leads people in Battlefield to fucking snipe their ass off from one position. I walk up and bury my knife into their fucking back, and then 2 minutes later they're right back in the same fucking spot. What are you thinking? You think I'm not going to come back and knife you again? Stupid.
I would like to make one note, though. Like, there's a lot of people commenting, how great this is and how they wish that their developer, on their favorite game did this. Like, Blizzard got lucky that this hack was so easy to catch. And you can't blame your favorite game company that they aren't catching them faster. Like, you don't just detect a hacker. You're not like, oh, let's just go in the code today, and there's a hacker. Like, you don't do that. It's a lot of
I've seen the movie Hackers, Andrew. Like, he just smacks his fingers on the keyboard, there's some lights, and then they find Angelina Jolie. That's how it works.
Do you think this is a Zero Cool situation? Do you think Zero Cool's finally come out of retirement?
Absolutely.
Oh, shit. We're all
might be dealing with... Crash Override.
If that movie had been made, if that movie had been made 10, 15 years later, Zero Cool would have been a fat pimple-faced dude who was just playing first-person shooters online. He wouldn't have been doing any of the cool shit he was doing in that movie.
There is a note, though, that, like, hacking's possible in Overwatch, and it's going to continue. People take it as a challenge to develop hacks.
Of course they do.
And Yeah, what we'll see is when ranked mode comes out, it will be at its worst. What people do is they hack, they boost an account to a really high rank, and they sell it on eBay or some shit. And then they buy another game copy with the profit they make, and they just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over. And that's how a lot of people make money, is just doing that. So as soon as ranked hits, there will be more hacks because they'll be in demand.
Did you say ranked hits?
Yeah, ranked tits.
Okay.
So when ranked tits come in, there'll be a lot of hacking because everybody wants the tits. So it's how it's going to work. I'm really glad that Blizzard caught this, that they banned it so quickly, but don't think that, it's crystal clear. Blizzard's a great company, but they can't stop hackers.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
not a perfect system.
You got to look at it like cops and robbers. Cops are here to stop people from committing crimes. They're not going to get everybody, but at least they're policing it. They're trying to make it better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the fact that there's been no false positives, like you said, that was the thing that stood out to me. I was like, I expected some innocent guy to come forward and be like, my Overwatch account got banned, guys. And I was a hacking. I thought for sure that was going to happen, and it hasn't. It's just all these people I hacked. And they really fucked me. I really cannot get back in. And I was like, shit, sounds like they're on top of it. So that's cool.
Well, like we mentioned before, I did actually almost have to suffer a penalty for the load loops that we talked about last week. In this past week, those got so bad that I got the icon that pops on my screen that basically says if you keep leaving games, there's going to be a penalty, and that motherfucker doesn't go away. You load into a game, and it's still there reminding you better not quit this game, motherfucker. and so thankfully, Andrew used his knowledge and understanding of the inner workings of an internet router to sit with Brittany and make some tweaks, and we have as of yet avoided that problem. We actually got together and played a match and fucked some shit up right before we recorded tonight. So we haven't had any problems. But at the same time, I don't think that would have ended in a permaban. But this game, it's like any other game. It's not perfect. It's gonna have other problems.
Just want to do a quick shout out to all the nerds out there that get called on to do computer tech support for their friends and family. I know how you feel, man. Can
I get an amen? Amen.
That's like when
Does
we're.
it make you feel like it's? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's like when we're calling my brother and his wife for medical advice. We could go see a doctor, or we could just send a picture of this growth to my sister-in-law. We're such dickheads about it. We're such dickheads about it.
That's weird.
That's awesome.
Please,
no, but
tell me
like,
we don't do that.
Do you feel like a superhero, though, Andrew?
Of course.
When you swoop in? When you swoop in, save the day?
Yeah.
You feel good about yourself afterwards?
Can we get a character based on Andrew for Overwatch? Can we get a guy who's his whole job is he's a support character and he just swoops in and buffs everyone's ability? Basically, you know what it is? You come in and you reset cooldowns. No one has to deal with cooldowns when you're around.
Oh my god! You're slamming on your keyboard
Yeah, you're walking around you got keyboards all over your body and you just.
No,
I want to look. I want to look like just like the guy from
Do not say Watch Dogs.
Fuck, Live Free or Die Hard.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, that little.
Yeah, I want the fucking little rollout keyboard.
Yes, I love that
He's
keyboard.
got the flexible rollout keyboard, and he's like, cool. Let me plug in my USB and let me just hack. Let me just get this shit done.
You'd be Kevin Smith. You'd be the guy living in his basement, who is this man? Why did you bring Bruce Willis to my house, Justin Long?
When Andrew helped me fix the computer in there and he was running me through the command prompt, I totally felt like that dude. I was, oh my god, I'm typing stuff into my computer and it's saying shit back.
I wish I would have known that was going on because I would have loved to be the Bruce Willis in that scenario. Just standing there all bald and cranky you fucking nerds. I just want to go fucking kill someone with my bare hands. This is boring shit.
Yippee-ki-yay, bitches.
Yeah, I would have typed it though. So actually jumping from one issue that we've talked a lot about on the show to another issue, I actually think this is really fucking cool. This week, the Sims 4 developers opened up gender customization. They completely opened up all customization options to both genders in the game. So now you can just do whatever the fuck you want in this game, and I think it's a really fucking cool thing. I think it's something that I really just think it's something that every game should dive into. At this point in 2016, I think if you're making gender-specific stuff beyond this chest plate has boob cups, then you're making a mistake.
I'm kind of surprised it took them this long to do it. I mean, Sims has always had a lot of customization to it. first, I have a question: can they use the other sex's bathroom? And two,
Oh shit! Good question. Well, they might. They honestly, they might go in there and try to molest your daughters.
I know, I've heard.
Yeah.
Let's just open doors
gotta
for
be
perverts.
careful.
Anyways, what game was it? Saints Row. Now, if you ever played the
Fucking
the
Saints
customization
Row.
of that game, every game needs to take a key from that. You can be a giant green male monster with titties, and nobody gives a shit. Like, oh man, the customization of that is so fucking crazy. But anyways, that's all I had.
It's a
Wow.
perfect example of it. No, I wanted to chime in here. Erica is a huge Sims fan. She's owned every single Sims game ever made, for PC at least. And The Sims has always been fantastic about letting you do whatever the fuck you want. And they are great at listening to their fan feedbacks on it. Like, there's a reason, I think it's still true, this was like maybe 2 years ago I saw this article, that The Sims is the #1 selling video game franchise of all time. That nobody has ever
Wow.
beat The Sims franchise. Now, granted, they have a lot of games, so, it skews it a little. But The Sims sells because they listen to their fans. And this customization and everything they do, they're giving you the choice. And I think it's an interesting loop back to one of our very early episodes where we talked about Rust and how Rust is now forcing you to be gender locked and even skin tone locked. You don't ever get to customize that. And I really think that The Sims is nailing it, and Rust, even though the developer's like, this is what I want. Nobody cares what the fuck you want, dude. Like, you're not paying us to play your game. So I'm really glad that The Sims is just continuing to give you more control.
I think it was best put by Rachel Franklin, the Sims 4 executive producer. She said, female Sims can wear sharp men's suits like Ellen, and male Sims can wear heels like Prince.
There we go.
So,
Although I really die by doing that, you should be careful.
so I actually want to jump back a second. While we're doing the show, I kind of like to keep my eye on trending topics and see if there's any sort of new news or updates that break while we're doing it. Because why wait until next week if we can talk about it now? And I may have to take back a decent amount of what I said previously in the episode. It was just announced that Umbrella Corps is, while it is releasing later this month, the only region that is getting a physical disc is Asia. It is digital only here in the U.S.
What?
Now, don't get me wrong, digital only is definitely the wave of the future, but right now, in 2016, digital only to me is just like when a movie's coming out that you hear that there's no marketing on. It's like when Ratchet and Clank was coming out and there weren't any fucking commercials or anything for it. I feel like maybe Capcom's not feeling so strongly about this game anymore.
It's like they can't afford their production costs.
What's going on at Capcom, man? Like, seriously, the Street Fighter
Nothing.
V flop, and then like
Nothing.
now this, and it's just, I don't know.
They're fucking up left and right is the answer.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And now I just want to go download Sims 4, man.
Make me a ladyboy. I see it in your eyes, Brittany.
Lady boy.
Ladyboy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it seems like the only thing Capcom is even moderately interested in pushing these days is Street Fighter V, and even that they're starting to finally admit that that maybe things aren't as good in that game as they could be. The biggest thing, it used to be a big thing when Capcom would release a new player character trailer, and they actually released a trailer this week for Ibuki joining the cast of Street Fighter V, and no one cares because all anyone wants to know is by the time Ibuki's out, is the game going to be fixed? Is it going to work properly? Mike, you had a finger up. Sorry, I was cutting off for you.
Oh no. Well, yeah, I kind of went past it, but the only thing I was going to say is I went back and looked at some information about Mighty Number 9. I know it's not Capcom, but it's a whatever kind of.
It holds the lineage.
Huh?
It
Yeah,
holds the lineage.
basically.
Uh-huh.
And I gotta say I'm starting to doubt it too. Like the more I read of it, it doesn't sound like he's going to be able to absorb boss abilities. So I think that dash move that makes enemies cry like an anime fan on prom night or whatever is all you're gonna get. And if that's it, you're just running around with arm cannon and dash moves, like it's gonna get fucking stale as shit real quick. So I'm starting to, doubt it. I mean, it was something that definitely needed to be supported, and it would have been great if it could have been cool, and it still might be, but I'm starting to be a little bit more skeptical than I used to be. On another note, talking about Street Fighter, I watched Street Fighter Assassin's Fist last night because I'm trying to find shitty video game movies.
I still haven't gotten around to that. And everyone was so fucking amped up about it when it was in development.
And the thing is, it's pretty good. Like, it's not great. It seems like a YouTube kind of series that was put into a movie, form. But it's really good. Like, they're really true to the source material. Like, it's just Ryu and Ken training with Goken, and then Akuma is like the bad guy, and they're pretty much the only characters. But it's really, really good. Like, if you want to know the backstory of Ken and Ryu, like, Shanae had never seen it. She didn't know shit about Street Fighter. And the whole time we're watching this, she's like, is this how the game is? I'm like, yeah, actually. Like, surprisingly, this is very, very accurate. So it's cool. The effects are decent. They made Akuma not look stupid, which I was really like.
Really? I figured he'd look fucking terrible.
Know, right? I was like, Akuma's going to look dumb as shit. And then he comes on screen. I was like, he looks pretty cool. Like, I mean, as good as you could do an Akuma, I guess, with the fucked up face and the top knot. Like, it ended up being pretty good. On another note, when I was watching Tekken, Heihachi's hair, there's no way that was going to look good in live action, but holy fuck does that look stupid.
Carry Hiroyuki Tagawa, man. You can just... Oh my seriously, God. I'm surprised he didn't play Akuma. I'm surprised he didn't play Akuma.
He's a fucking good guy in it. Did you know that? Heihachi's a good guy.
Heihachi Mishima's a good guy.
I know, the most ruthless son of a bitch.
I watched this movie, and I will admit, it came out long enough ago. I was really shit-faced drunk when I watched this movie. I remember watching it really
God alcohol helped you forget it, because it is fucking terrible. Oh, man. It's so shitty. Like, they didn't get any of the characters right. It was, I'm going to tear it up in that article. Anyways, moving on to something else.
Absolutely. Fucking brutal. So we talked a bit about The Sims. We talked a bit about the new gender neutrality of The Sims, which I think is fucking fantastic. I did just want to bring this video to the show because I really think it's great. So there was this absolutely awesome news story this past week about a couple of guys who stuck up a GameStop, which honestly, that's another thing. If you're taking guns to a GameStop trying to make money in 2016, maybe you don't fully understand the video game industry. But these two, they look like relatively young guys. They were in hoodies and masks. I don't know if they've even been caught yet. But they go into this GameStop, they pull out guns, they put the clerks on the floor. But the awesome thing is this fucking a 7-year-old boy, I think he was. He starts taking shots at one of them. He just balls up his fist and starts punching one of these motherfuckers, and it's fantastic. And I wanted to bring this to the show for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's great when you can see something like this and nobody gets hurt. It just makes an interesting and fun story. Two, I love the fucking bravery of this kid and the fact that he has this genuine understanding of right and wrong. But three, I'm going to throw this out there. All the people who tell us that video games teach us nothing but violence and abhorrent behavior, look at this kid. Look at what he learned from video games. He learned to stand up for what was right, even though it was fucking stupid to attack somebody with a gun. At the end of the day, it worked out for him, and what it does speak to is this kid's character. He understood right and he understood wrong, and he tried to stand up for what he thought was right. And I fucking applaud the little bastard for it.
And I'm still stuck on the fact that these guys were robbing a GameStop.
Yep.
Like, they've come in, guns blazing.
Brilliant,
guys,
right?
Like, so, here's a copy of Mario Kart. I mean, like, what the fuck do you expect to make out of this caper?
Well, now, if you trade a game right now, if you trade Mario Kart 8 towards another game, you get extra fucking credit for that. I saw it today.
I was gonna say, like, their in-store credit is like
summer
$800
sale.
Now.
It's a summer sale. You
put more credit in the computer.
$25 for it.
But and also, like, wouldn't it be awesome if this was the Street Fighter kid? Nobody knew it.
Oh, you mean Little Zangief?
That's the first thing I thought. I was like, it's him. He's just fucking out there dispensing justice, man.
Is that who you mean, Little Zangief, the kid who fucking
beat Street Fighter?
Beat Street Fighter? Yeah, I'm talking about that.
That beat Street
Fighter.
The kid
that beat Street Fighter. He was sitting there with
Street
the fucking.
Fighter 5.
Oh, Street Fighter Baby. Oh, you mean Street Fighter Baby? Yeah. No. When you said kid, you know who I thought you were talking about? Kid Zangief. Do you remember that video? Oh, a few years back, Britt, write this one down. We're going to toss this one up. So a few years back, there's this fantastic video online. There, and you can actually see the aftermath. You can see interviews with the kids, which is great. There was this kid, a husky kid, a bigger kid. He was, I'd say he's probably like 10 or 11 years old, right, when this video actually came out. And there's this kid who's like half his size who's bullying the fuck out of him for being fat, right? And you see this video of him, and this kid's like pushing him around, treating him like shit. And apparently this was something that happened all day, every day at school. Like, he's bullied the hell out of this kid. And then it was like all of a sudden this kid realized that he was twice the size of this little bastard, and he picks this kid up and fucking suplexes the fuck out of him on concrete.
It looked like it broke his back.
Oh, yes, it
really
does.
did.
And so
It looked awful.
some genius motherfucker actually put the Street Fighter HUD up over it with all the KO fighting KO graphics and everything. And for a while there, this kid became known as Zangief Kid. But the absolute best part is if you get the full story version of the video, there's an interview with the bully afterwards where he's basically talking about the error of his ways and how he was taught a lesson. And he looks to take a line from the original Ninja Turtles movie. He looks like he just called Mike Tyson a sissy. I mean, this kid is lumpy as a motherfucker just from a single fucking suplex. I mean, this kid just laid him out.
I'd like to point out, like, I'm curious if you can tell. Like, we should do studies on this fact, and we should traumatize children because I'm curious.
We should traumatize children. Zero Lives Video Game Podcast. Quote us.
There we go. Can we see what kind of games the kid was playing and how they react? You know, if you're a Mario super fan, do you try to jump on bad guys? Like, this kid went straight into punching, so I'm with Mike.
How does it influence your brand of violence?
Yeah, you know, what if you're Kirby? Like, if the kid plays a lot of fucking Kirby, what's he going to do to the bad guy? I don't
want to know what he's going to do. He's going to open his mouth. He's going to open his mouth and try to defuse that situation.
Wow, I was thinking more that he was going to, like, try to cannonball him or something, but...
Yep.
You guys are dirty.
If you suck me into your mouth, you'll get my power. That's what I'm going to use on women now.
There you go.
Could you imagine that, though? Like, in a fight, a kid like who's just a super Kirby fan just inhales and then goes... just puffs his cheeks out really hard. I can just see the other kid going, yep, fuck this. No point. I'm out. God damn, that's fucking funny. Now, in all fairness, I did watch the entire news story, and this is the ironic thing was this is the first time this kid ever went into a GameStop. His parents took him into one for the very first time. So I'm sure he had played games. I guess he had just never been into one before. And it was kind of a touching, charming little story because they interviewed the kid's father, and he basically said they went in there to buy a Yoshi plush. Like, the kid was super into Yoshi as a character, right? So they went in there to buy him this Yoshi plush, and if you watch the video, the kid is holding the Yoshi plush, and he has it balled. When he starts punching the guy, he's punching the guy with a balled up Yoshi in his hand. Like, he's punching this dude with Yoshi. And the cool thing was, the story as it went was after these guys broke out with the money, the store manager just gave the kid the Yoshi. He was like, it's yours, you know what I mean? You stood up for us, it's yours. And this kid is now super attached to it. Like, his dad was basically saying that he sees, the kid actually sees the Yoshi as a comfort item. He genuinely believes the reason that he stood up to a guy with a gun and survived is because he had his Yoshi.
I'm gonna cry. So cute.
Yeah, you're right.
Me.
It's super super duper cute, and I think in a weird way that was one of the best parts of the story. Is it really is a horrible thing, but when everyone comes out of it okay like that, and you just have sort of like an endearing story about a kid who was like, no, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm like, what did Chappelle say in that old skit? My name's Leonard Washington. I don't get buck naked for nobody. Like, fuck those guys, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought this whole fucking story was great. So next up, I want to talk about, again, to get back to another topic that comes up all the fucking time on the show, which is sexism in video games. So Capcom and EVO, like the organizers of the EVO tournament, have banned a player for sexual harassment, and boy, this thing's pretty fucking cut and dry. Speaking of things I love, if there's one thing I absolutely love is when you catch a motherfucker doing something horrible on video, so there's absolutely no way that this person could deny it. So this competitive Street Fighter player, Noel Brown, was caught on video at a Capcom sponsored event, essentially what we used to call checking oil in high school, checking the oil of a young lady to put it in a way that makes it sound less horrible. You can kind of see a GIF here of it on the link that we're looking at, where everybody gets up. I don't know if it's a break or it's the end of a tournament or what, but everybody's getting up and walking away, and this guy just reaches forward and just fucking takes liberties with this girl. She does it, and she does a double take. She kind of looks at this guy like, what the fuck did I just experience? And where it gets even more interesting is this guy went out of his way on Twitter and on social media to try and claim that he knew this girl, and there were texts showing that she was interested and she wanted it and all this stuff. And this girl has actually come out and pretty specifically said, nope, had no interest in this guy goosing me in the middle of a room full of people.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see action was taken. I mean, obviously, if it's and like the article about this is like, well, there were no policies in place before, and like blah 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 blah, because they said like we're implementing new policies, and they're like, well, that means there were no policies before. Well, I think a lot of times with these kind of things, you just kind of give people the benefit of the doubt, and you might not even think it because you're not a pervert when you're fucking structuring this shit. Like, should we have a thing in there about not sticking your finger in girls' butts while you're here? Maybe we should make that an amendment to our rules here. I think it was something they just didn't think was going to be a fucking problem. Yep. But the fact that it is, and they jumped on it. And the thing is, he's only banned for a year. I'm hoping he gets banned pretty much permanently. Like they don't need him, and the message needs to be sent. You know what I mean? I think. I agree. And I'm not saying this kind of shit runs rampant. I'm not saying like every guy in there needs to be reminded, don't stick your finger in this chick's butthole when she's walking by you. I just think it needs to be pointed out that no matter what, any kind of this bullshit isn't going to fly, and we're not about that. So
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I really feel like that this could become more and more of a, maybe not an issue, not this one per se, but you're taking kids and turning them into athletes, turning them into celebrity figures, and they start like thinking that they are untouchable because they are like the gods, of gaming or whatever you want to call them. But it's going to start hitting them hopefully soon that you've become a role model. Like, that's what you are now, and you're a role model to the youngest of the young kids. You're not a fucking firefighter, like, influencing a little kid, but, like, football players don't influence little kids like pro gamers influence little kids today. It's huge. Every kid wants to be a fucking pro gamer. Are they going to? No, because chances are, kid, you suck. But, like, it's really important that when you enter this pro status, no matter what game you're playing, you understand that comes with the spotlight, and that comes with a persona you now have to have in public. You can't go around and like just grab women and do whatever the hell you want. You can't go around and just party 24/7 nonstop. Like it's not a good way to move forward in your career, and you're like replaceable. That's the word. You're not fucking Peyton Manning or anybody. Like, you are a gamer. You know how many gamers there are out there that want your job and that can probably do your job given the training? I mean, there are good players out there who could do it. So it's silly to see somebody just think that they're top shit and that they could just get away with it.
Well, this is actually really interesting because I you know what, when things like this happen, with any sort of public figure, even somebody who, to be frank, he is a worldwide ranked player, but from what I've seen, he's ranked worldwide, but he ain't shit. We're not talking about
Justin Wong.
Yeah, we're not talking about a fucking yeah, we're not talking about any of those fucking guys. But So I was kind of looking into this, and I just Googled his name. I just Googled his name and found an article from 2013 where this very same guy, and I can confirm it with pictures and the confirmation that at the time he was a ranked worldwide MVC3 player, was arrested for punching his girlfriend in the face. Now don't get me wrong, the rage I'm sure was real, because the story as it goes was he showed up to a hotel room, and his girlfriend, or I'm sorry, I guess it says his ex-girlfriend. I guess it's not very clear whether or not she was his girlfriend at the time. He showed up to a hotel room and found this woman engaged in a quote-unquote intimate encounter with another player from the tournament. So he proceeded to beat the fuck out of that player, and then when his girlfriend tried to stop the altercation, busted her nose open like a fucking balloon. And to me, I don't think that shit comes out of nowhere just because of one altercation. I see this, and I wouldn't be surprised if I continue to scroll down and see more about this guy, because it's funny, when you Google his name, all you see is bad press. I at this point, I am not surprised at all about these harsh bans, and I'm surprised they're not a little more harsh, because this guy just seems like fucking bad news.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just so off topic, but it just reminds me, because you said like this shit doesn't come out of nowhere. Did you know the guy that played Random Task in the Austin Powers movie?
Oh,
he went to prison because he raped and murdered his wife or something
sure
like
did.
that. Like, yeah, so he was a nut job, and he used to be a UFC or a mixed martial arts fighter. And I read a lot of Sean Baby. Sean Baby is one of my favorite writers ever. He's a comedic writer. If anybody doesn't read Sean Baby, you need to get your shit together.
If you love video games and you love to laugh, you need to read Sean Baby.
And he writes about martial arts stuff too. And there's one article he writes where it's this guy versus somebody else in the ring, and it's the one guy had his hands free, and Sean's Baby's like, and he had his hand free to do whatever it wanted to do, and his hand wanted to punch balls, because this is before they had rules. And he has this big dude that played Random Task over in front of him, and he's just pounding him in the dick. Like, he punches him about 20 fucking times in the balls, and it's one of the most cathartic things in the world to watch once you know who this guy is and what he did. Like, just watching him get punched in the dick 50 or 60 times, it's just, it's a masterpiece. But yeah, so this guy obviously sounds like he's a really sweet dude, punching his fucking girlfriend, beating up the dude that she was fucking, and it was probably his ex-girlfriend. I mean, he was probably just raging out like a dick and sticking his finger.
I don't like to make too many suppositions unless they're based in humor.
And sticking his finger in some random girl's butt, like, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, get him off the shit. Like, I hate when celebrities or anybody that's in sports or whatever else is just given a pass because they're famous, because they make money. Like, big fucking deal. Morality is pretty much the top of what we need to expect from anyone. And if you're a piece of shit, doesn't matter what else you do. Like, fuck you. Get the fuck out. Kick them out. Strip them of everything they have. Leave them butt naked, beaten in a fucking alley somewhere. Fuck that shit. I hate seeing stuff like this.
I would actually argue that base morality is the least we should expect of people, especially in fucking 2016 in this country. I mean, for all the benefits that we have that so many other countries don't have, it's just like, grow up, motherfucker.
I'm just saying it should be top priority.
Agreed.
Like,
agreed. I think we're saying the same thing. I think I'm just wording it a different way. I did read here that actually while Capcom and Evo have dropped the hammer on this dude, Combo Breaker, the organization where this actually happened, their 2016 event, they actually have banned him for the next 2 years. I should say they obviously removed him from this 2016 event. They banned him for 2017, and they have said that it's a very strong possibility he will be banned for 2018, and they will be reevaluating it. So essentially, he's going to have to come to them and kiss ass and show that show some improvement, essentially. And I have an odd feeling that they're just going to tell him to go fuck himself. And to elaborate on this further, Ultra Arcade, which was the pro team that he was actually playing for, have released him as well. Again, I have this odd feeling that this would be the kind of thing that you might be able to, whether it's right or wrong, you might be able to talk your way out of, but I have a feeling this guy's just more trouble than he's worth. Their specific statement being we will reevaluate Null's ability to attend our events in 2018 season. Ultra Arcade and KI World Cup have a zero tolerance for sexual harassment. We do not condone any acts of harassment, warranted or unwarranted. That type of behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. So yeah, people are kind of rising up together and showing that at least in the fighting game community, this shit isn't going to fly. And I think that's really fantastic, considering some of the dark places we've been as far as the treatment of women in the fighting game community in the last 10 years.
True.
I think you can Google a number of really nasty stories. Like I can't remember, the one that immediately pops to mind was when who put on that fighting game tournament. It was like an online reality show, and they brought the best fighting game players from all over the world to compete in like a reality style tournament, and it was based on a new. It was when Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out. That's what it was. Capcom put together this show when Street Fighter Cross Tekken was coming out, and they brought together all these pro players, gave them an opportunity to learn as much of the game as they could, but for the most part they were teaching themselves on the fly between matches, and it was like a double elimination style reality TV show. And if you go back and check that out, I can't remember what the name of it was, but I believe there was a female player on both teams, and one of those female players left early because of the extreme amount of sexual harassment she was experiencing on the set. She just walked. She's like, I don't have to deal with this bullshit, and she walked away from probably the biggest opportunity in her life as a professional gamer on principle. And I always thought that was really fucking cool.
Guys, this is why we can't have nice things like co-ed events. Co-ed events are great. I love it. I love when girls are there. I like women. I like hearing them talk about shit. They have a different perspective on stuff. They're pretty. They're usually nicer than men. All in all, co-ed events are fantastic. And this is why we can't fucking have them, because guys can be fucking dicks. Like, grow the fuck up. They're not there just for you to fuck with and to stick your fingers in their butts. Like, that's not what women are there for. Like, oh my god, there's all these assholes ruining it for, like, dudes that actually want to see integration and want to see this stuff blow up and want everybody to enjoy it. And they're just shitting all over everything. Thanks a lot, Gamergate. Dicks.
Yeah, and I won't get too deep into this because it is old news, but if this is a topic that interests you, and then again, just to kind of see where we've been in recent years, the show was actually called Cross Assault, and again, it came out in 2012 as a promotional tool for Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
What a terribly ironic name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assault,
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I don't remember the dude's name, but actually a pretty legendary, prolific professional fighting game player caused a lot of fucking waves by saying some really fucking horrible things, and then once he was called out on them, doubling and in fact tripling down on them after driving this woman who was just there like everybody else to try and forward her career to just fucking leave because it was just easier. It was just easier for her to leave and not deal with it. So it's interesting. Definitely. I guarantee at this point, since that game was a flop and that show itself was tied to a flop, you can pretty much Google Cross Assault, and that story will be the first thing that comes up because that's the most notable thing to come out of it. But aside from that, guys, I think we're done. Unless anybody has any last minute shit that they want to try to get in here. Covered that in pretty good time this week too. So maybe some of our less pleased listeners who want the show to not be so long will stop being so butthurt this week.
And we did record all this. We are good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure that.
Sorry, I honestly figured you guys were going to keep railing me throughout the entire show, so I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed you didn't push that agenda a little bit harder.
We have a heart, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
We got it where it counts.
I don't.
We got it
Only
where it
so
counts.
much.
You apart this whole fucking time. All right. Well, then let's go ahead and move into plugs. Let's go in each of us individually before we shut this thing down. So, Mike, why don't we start with you this week?
Okay, as I may have mentioned before, I am the video game editor for Project Nerd. We got a lot of great stuff coming out. Actually, the Project Nerd website just got revamped. I've barely gotten a chance to look at it. I've looked over it a little bit today, but the whole website is more user-friendly now. But the important stuff for our listeners is the video game content. And we have some great writers. They're pumping out good stuff. We're going to have a new article for you every Monday. We got 2 guys streaming, once on Monday and once on Wednesday, and that's 10 o'clock Central Time. The Twitch account name
God, are
is
you going to do this again?
Project Nerd Blog.
There we go.
I'm actually going to say it for y'all little fucking baby diapers in the room. And you can check that out if you want to see them stream some stuff. They just did Fallout 4 last time, so they're always just mixing it up. But it's fun, like just watch somebody game and leave some comments. It'd be cool. But anyways, check out our content, read our articles. They're all pretty good.
I would call him the unsung hero of the video game review community.
Yeah,
Andrew.
we don't get enough hits. Like, there's some quality stuff on there, and like there aren't enough people coming in to read it because it's a Project Nerd is basically a cosplay site. So I don't think people even know it's there. But damn it, It's awesome, and y'all need to check it out.
If you enjoy the show and you enjoy video games, you enjoy well-written reviews, you enjoy discussions about video games, I would highly recommend that you stop over there. And when you do, leave a comment. Let them know that Zero Live sent you. Let them know that it is the kind of content that you personally want to digest, and that should maybe take a little bit more of a prominent role in their website. Make yourselves vocal.
I support that 100%.
Andrew, what have you got?
I just want to let everybody know that I'm a boss. So.
And Battlefield 1.
play Overwatch. Quick note, thank you for the reminder. Battlefield 1 on June 12th is going to be doing an event, and my browser is lagging, so I can't tell you the exact time, but it's they're hyping it up really big. They're bringing in, I think it's going to be a 32-on-32 conquest match, more than likely. It's the first time we're, the public, going to see gameplay. Definitely check it out. It'll be on Twitch. I'm sure it'll be recorded so you can watch it later, and they'll probably be chatting about it in the next podcast.
Yeah, so Battlefield 1, so, well, that's June 12th, so it wouldn't be the next show, it would be the show after, right? Is that correct?
It's next
Sunday.
Yeah.
It's next Sunday.
Yeah.
That's definitely something I want. I definitely something I want to check out. I even as much as I love Battlefield, I still never really followed a whole lot leading up to the release of these games. But there's something really just exciting and interesting about Battlefield 1. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do everything I can to be there to watch that. Unless there's a WWE pay-per-view that night. If that's the night of Money in the Bank, then fuck y'all. Britt, what have you got?
Well, guys, I'm Miss Midgie on Twitter. So hit me up, MSMIDGY. Love to chit chat, play Rocket League, Overwatch, Xbox, PC, whatever you want to do. It'll be fun.
Whatever you want to do, guys.
Oh my God, Troy, really? I'm your
She's
wife.
gonna get
Hey,
Don't whore me out
you
like
worded
that.
it that way. You worded it that way, not me.
You know what? Shush. Okay, I'm tired. I should be napping by now.
No, the silverback will kill you. Come in, watch, and show respect. God damn it.
And that's about it.
All right. So before I go into my standard plugs, I do want to throw out, there's a lot of discussion here. There's a lot of discussion recently between the members of this show about the possibility, the feasibility, and in fact the importance of streaming this episode live. Or I shouldn't say this episode, this show live. When we actually record the show, doing it live on Twitch as we record, so that we can get some direct interaction with the fans, that we can kind of continue with our mission, which is to build a community around this show. And I think what I'd like is some feedback. I would like to hear from the group of people, the 40 or so people that we always without fail have listening to this show. Let us know. We record this show on Friday nights, and as of right now, it's on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Is that a time that makes sense for you to stop by and watch? Is there a time in the weekend that would be better? I want to know if I kind of want some information from the audience to give us an idea of when would be a good time for you to be involved with us. Because the plus side of this is not only could you be like right on the bleeding edge of this when the information is new and live, and get involved with us via chat. This would inevitably lead to a situation where we could actually take calls, where we could actually have people call into the show to discuss the topics that we are talking about. This is all sort of in the evolution of this show, in the DNA, and how we want to grow this show, make it change, make it more entertaining. So let us know if that's a time slot that makes a lot of sense, or if there's some time in the weekend that seems to make more sense for the vast majority of our listeners. Aside from that, just going to go over the standard plugs. Black Coat Radio on SoundCloud, and the Zero Lives Facebook page on YouTube. Every week you can hear the Zero Lives video game podcast dropping every Monday morning. You can hear the One Sweet Wrestling podcast dropping every Wednesday. Movie Night with Johnny Cinema, and all of the different little sub-shows that are going on over there dropping every Friday. This past week we started our first monthly show, like I mentioned earlier, specifically geared towards my free company on Final Fantasy XIV, but it will be a show that covers that that game in a very general sense. So if that is something that is interesting to you, drop by on Saturday. We'll be dropping the first episode of that, and again, that will be happening every month. Aside from that, get a hold of us at blackcoatradio on gmail.com. Touch base with us on the Facebook page. Any way you want to contact. Loving all the comments that are left on our SoundCloud page. That's really great. We love to hear that everybody's listening, getting involved. We've got a lot of people who are very vocal, especially when they disagree or when we make mistakes. But I think that's when it gets to be the most fun. So that's all I've got. Andrew had to cut out on us, so he will not physically be saying goodbye tonight. And I know you two are going to have a hell of a time trying to cover up my exit. So I am just going to say, for myself, Troy, for Brittany, Miss Midgie, and for Mike and Andrew, we will see you next week.
Do we have to record this again? Should we do the whole show again? What do you think, Brittany?
I think it's over. I think it's
you think
over.
It's over? Are we done?
It's done. It's done. No more. I don't care. I'm not gonna fucking record this shit again.
You've been listening to the Zero Lives Video Game Podcast. Find this and many other quality nerdcasts for stream and download at Blackcoat Radio on SoundCloud and YouTube. Join us each and every week for news, reviews, and discussion on the world of video games and video game culture. Zero Lives Video Game Podcast is a product of Blackcoat Radio.